What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Uh, Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel. Check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on uh, Malaysia Fulwiley and her new start at LSU with the LSU Tigers, right? And I'm gonna give some input into what I think about, like how I think she's going to be able to fit in there and everything. But first, like everybody knows that Malaysia Fulwiley, she played 2 years at South Carolina, and she was not, she wasn't happy with the amount of time that she was getting. I remember seeing Malaysia Fulwiley in her freshman year, and just like a lot of other people, like I was excited about what she would bring to the table, the kind of player she was, and so as a freshman coming into a program like South Carolina, I guess you could be patient, not starting because that was one of the top programs in the country. And some of her decision making, although you could see she had a lot of talent and a lot of potential, and her upside is high, right? Some of her decision making early, like as a freshman, that's what kept her on the bench, right? And like I said, she came off the bench even as a freshman, and she gave the team a spark. Then come her sophomore year, she still didn't start, and her minutes didn't go down. They stayed about the same, but she wasn't really happy or satisfied with her role. She felt like, and a lot of people probably felt the same way, that Malaysia should be getting more time than what she was getting as a sophomore. And then by the end of that season, I think she was pretty much disappointed and fed up, and thought that, like I said, she was getting the short end of the stick. But you got to remember, like that program, if with Don Stanley, if you're not playing a certain way, then she's not gonna put you in there, no matter how much talent you have. And I thought that Malaysia Fulwiley made some progress. Like she was playing better defense. She was making better decisions, like on the offensive end, but it wasn't consistent. Sometimes she would go off the rails. And at that program at South Carolina, that wasn't going to work at South Carolina with Don Stanley, because, like I said, she has so many other players around there, top tier talent, that didn't make the mistakes and was more consistent than Malaysia Fulwiley, right? Now, had Malaysia Fulwiley went to a smaller school, then they would, because of her talent, they would have been more willing to more willing to accept the mistakes that she was making. But recently, and since then, so she felt like she needed to transfer to LSU. Now, once she transferred to LSU, people were speculating, like, well, how will she fit in with LSU? And in my opinion, I think she's really going to fit in with LSU. I still think that she has to like make better decisions with the ball, and she has to play within in the system or the framework of the team, right? And so that's going to be the challenge for Coach Kim Mulkey with Malaysia Fulwiley, and she knows that. And so, like recently, LSU had their first public team practice, right? And it was a lot of people there, a lot of press there, and everything. And so, she basically just said that she was going to challenge Malaysia Fulwiley. Kim Mulkey said she's basically going to challenge her and, put her at the point guard position. Do I think she could play point guard? Yeah. Yes. And I think it's good to put her at the point guard rather than the two, because at the point guard position, that will cause her, she will have to learn more and understand that as a point guard, you need to be more under control if you are running and directing the team. She have other women, young ladies on the team that she could put at the point guard, but probably nobody as dynamic as Malaysia Fulwiley. When they need a bucket, she can go off script and get them a bucket. So the challenge will be, I think it's a smart move to put Malaysia at the point guard, because she'll have to learn everybody's position. She'll have to be accountable for, not just herself, but her teammates. And she'll have to be the leader, right? So, but I want to play some audio from the press conference that Kim Mulkey had after after their first public practice.
You've witnessed what Malaysia Fulwiley is capable of playing against her. What kind of expectations do you have from her immediately, and what have you seen working with her up close and personal?
Well, Lay, we call her Lay. Lay is, she'd beaten me too many times for me not to have taken her into this program. I mean, she's just a big shot, big steal, spectacular move. I'm going to challenge her to learn the point guard position, but I'm not going to take away her ability to play the off guard either. So a lot of that will depend on how quickly she catches on to what we need her to do as a point guard. And a lot of that will depend on Jada's development. A lot of that will depend on Divine's development. Those guys all handle the ball for us. But she's fitting in well. I mean, ballers want to play with ballers, and she's going to be fun to watch. I think the fans, they already know how good she is and all the spectacular things she does on the floor, and now the LSU fans get to cheer for her instead of booing her.
Yeah, and see, so like the coach said, everybody knows that Malaysia is very talented. The thing is, like, Malaysia still needs to fit in and conform to the system that Kim Mulkey is put in place as far as how the team is run. And also, she'll still be competing, right? Because there are other young ladies that are there and that are really good. So, if they develop and their decision making is better than Milaysia Fulwiley, then then they will play. And I'm hoping it don't work out like that. I'm hoping that Milaysia Fulwiley she just basically needed a new start. I'm hoping that she can go in and play under control and do the things that that's necessary for LSU to have a winning team and for her to be out there on the court. Also you got, and I think like Flage is there, to assist her and help her along the way. I think that Malaysia probably will do good at LSU. I think that she needed a new start. And so if she did any type of soul searching, and she takes any type of accountability, then that will work in her favor. She don't want to leave South Carolina blaming everything on Coach Dawn Stanley. In order for her to get better and to move on, she needs to accept some accountability for the fact that she didn't start 2 years at South Carolina. I think that had she stayed at South Carolina, she probably could have worked her way up to the starting, role. But then it's hard to say when you're not there, because sometimes once a coach have their, once they got their mind made up about you, then it's probably, it's hard to get, them to see you in a different way, right? But I think Milaysia Fulwiley will be good, but I'm waiting for August the 14th when LSU go up against South Carolina. I think that'll be a good game, an interesting game. I expect Milaysia Fulwiley, she definitely going to be wanting to be, in there and showing LSU what they what they missed out on. I mean, showing South Carolina what they missed out on. So that's my take on it. Like I said, I'm looking forward to seeing LSU. I think their team will be good. I like Kim Mulkey as a coach. He's a very good coach, a very good recruiter. And I think they'll be good. I'm not sure how South Carolina's going to look this year. I know they had the young lady, I think what was it, Ashley? I forgot her name. She got hurt last year. I'm not sure if she's going to be back this year. But again, South Carolina just do the same thing as LSU. They just reload, every year. The year that South Carolina even won that, they won that the NCAA championship. That was supposed to be a year, like a down year for them. So I expect South Carolina to be good too. So yeah, man, y'all look forward to February the 14th, LSU South Carolina. That's going to be a good game. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.